This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Wednesday, September the 5th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, Canada has launched a Canadian $4.8 million fund to strengthen women's organizations in Barbados and other Caribbean countries. The announcement was made yesterday by Kamala Kira, Parliamentary Secretary to the Canadian Minister of International Development. Kira told reporters at the Lloyd Erskine Sandifer Centre that the fund would cover a 5-year period.
This funding is part of Canada's Women's Voice and Leadership Program. Supporting grassroots organizations that advance women's rights is a cornerstone of Canada's Feminist International Assistance Policy. We must put the empowerment of women and girls at the heart of our development efforts because we believe and know that that is the most effective way to eliminate poverty and inequality for everyone.
Expect toes to be stepped on and some eggs cracked. This stern warning yesterday from Minister of Water Resources Wilfred Abrams as the Mayor Motley-led government moves to address inefficiencies at the state-owned Barbados Water Authority. Now, speaking to Barbados Today against the backdrop of the sudden resignation of Chief Agricultural Officer Lennox Chandler from the board of the BWA while citing personal reasons, Abrams insisted that change was needed at the state-run utility company, which is currently saddled with $500 million in loans and mounting financial challenges.
The Water Authority has a lot of work to do, and the chairman and the board of the Barbados Water Authority have their hands full. A lot of inefficiencies in the company. It's come under a lot of scrutiny, and they have the task of trying to right the wrongs and to get the company running efficiently and hopefully turning a profit. So necessarily when you change things or when you try to create efficiency from inefficiency, some toes are going to have to be stepped on and some eggs got to be cracked.
Meanwhile, Minister Abrams will update the country on Friday on the latest situation regarding the South Coast sewage crisis. In other news now, President of the Association of Public Transport Operators, Maurice Lee, is warning the Ministry of Transport and Works that Saturday's opening of the Constitution River Terminal could be a chaotic one. Lee said that with only 3 days to go before the state-of-the-art terminal comes on stream, privately owned public transport operators and owners are totally in the dark as to how the new system is expected to work.
90% of the operators out by the Province Street don't even know that they have to move. So what I'm saying is that we have to eliminate chaos. And when you have a cordial relationship between the Transport Authority and the associations and the operators, it will minimize the fallout when things like this happen. So essentially, I would use this opportunity of this interview essentially to share with you that I'm asking that time will be given to the operators at Province Street to facilitate this transition, and that all of the operators that are operating at Province Street should be invited independently to the river terminal to see exactly where the Ministry of the Transport Authority plans to put them.
In sports now, the Barbados Tridents continued their losing streak in this year's Hero Caribbean Premier League when they were beaten by the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots at Warner Park in St. Kitts last night. Now, the Patriots won by 2 wickets, having scored 169 for 8 in their allotted 20 overs, to the Tridents 168 for 5. This is now the Tridents' 6th defeat on a trot.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. Guyana has moved closer to establishing its own law school. The Council of Legal Education is said to be examining the business plan and feasibility study for the establishment of the school. Handel Duncan reports.
The issue of the establishment of a local law school is raising its head again. Minister of Legal Affairs Bassey Williams on Monday said that some permission have been granted for the setting up of a school here.
We were supposed to lay over with the CLE a business plan and a feasibility study. That has been done. They have it now, and they're supposed to be reviewing it. And the joint venture partners, the Jamaicans, they're here today, and we are going to meet with the CLE tomorrow in relation to that feasibility study and business plan.
And on the international scene, chaos engulfed the U.S. Senate confirmation hearing for Brett Kavanaugh, President Donald Trump's Supreme Court pick, as Democrats yesterday complained bitterly about Republicans withholding documents about the nominee's past White House service, and shouting protesters were arrested in droves. More in this Reuters report.
A judge must be independent and must interpret the law, not make the law.
Judge Brett Kavanaugh finally got a word in after a chaotic start to his Supreme Court confirmation hearing.
Review last night, and we believe this hearing should be postponed.
Deep partisan divisions on Capitol Hill turned day one into a free-for-all.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn.
Democrats opened the hearings with a volley of protests over Republican tactics, angry at missing documents and what they see as a rushed process.
We have not received the documents that you have even called for.
Democrats portrayed Kavanaugh as a conservative activist who could push the Supreme Court sharply to the right on issues like abortion and gun rights. But they almost certainly don't have the votes to block him. In his opening statement, Kavanaugh tried to strike a note of unity amid the rancor.
The Supreme Court must never be viewed as a partisan institution. The justices on the Supreme Court do not sit on opposite sides of an aisle. Our independent judiciary is the crown jewel of our constitutional republic.
But the judge was overshadowed by the man who brought him here.
What guides this nominee is partisanship.
Democrats tying him to President Trump and sounding a warning that the nominee may not be a check to Trump's impulses, especially if Robert Mueller's Russia probe reaches the Supreme Court.
We have to confront an uncomfortable but important question about whether President Trump may have selected you, Judge Kavanaugh, with an eye towards protecting himself.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.